Good evening, or morning, or afternoon, or whatever time of day may be for you, everybody, and welcome back to Backloggery. Seems to be all we do nowadays. But anyways, last time we finished all of the games on Steam, at least. So the last game we inserted was Influx. And I also realized that I haven't been testing my chat like at all for the past couple streams. So we should do that right now. Let's test Twitch. Okay, so there's Twitch, and let's test YouTube to make sure that both chats are working as intended. Because if they're not, then that kind of beats the point of doing multi-streaming. Hey, Isitor, how are you? I see you over there. You literally just came in right as we're starting, so you haven't missed anything. That's fantastic. And yes, both chats are working as intended, so we may proceed normally. Let me get some water. I got my water here. I got chocolate too, but I don't really need chocolate right now. I already had breakfast. I had a croissant. A croissant sandwich. Have you guys ever had a croissant sandwich? Pretty good. I'm doing alright now. How about you? Taking any commissions yet? I'm doing alright. And I am not taking commissions yet. Basically, right now I'm working on... What's a good way to explain what I'm doing? I'm trying different... I'm trying to draw different things that I don't usually draw, like drawing in black and white, drawing certain character types and all that sort of stuff, so that I can put it on my like what I'm okay with drawing, what I'm not okay with drawing thing, because you know every artist has like a thing of like a list of things that they like to do and don't like to do, or are not okay with doing. And I'm actually okay with a good number of things. Landscapes, I'm not really an environment artist. I would like to improve my my backgrounds a bit, but for the most part, I'm not really I'm not really an environment artist. That is an entirely different set of skills. Like I'm more of a character artist. That's why you'll see in my images, most of my backgrounds are just like gradients. Or very, very nebulous interpretations of a room. Maybe, kind of, sort of. Bob Ross could teach me. In fact, I remember the very first stream I did as a VTuber. We painted some trees. Just for the hell of it. For like a minute or two. But yeah, I don't commonly do too many things like that. But as far as characters are concerned, yeah, I'm okay with doing a lot of stuff. Not everything. I do have my boundaries, but as far as NSFW stuff is concerned, I am open-minded to quite a bunch of stuff. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the actual main event today, and we will actually go ahead and discuss some more stuff specifically around the Activision Blizzard stuff, because it just keeps going. So that's gonna be something I'll bring up later. But I'm gonna wait a little bit to see if some other folks come into chat, because that would be nice. Otherwise, let's go ahead. May I ask how you came into field of your art preference? I guess I don't know. I just kind of did what I wanted. And I just went off from there. There's not really like a great story about how I became an artist or how I started doing what I'm doing. It just kind of happened. Yes, sort of. Alright. Anyways. There have not been any game additions since the last time I streamed. The last time there was an addition, which was Chris Tales. Right here, and I actually have been playing it a little bit over the past couple of days, but not a lot. I've only got 4.1 hours on it, so I'm still just kind of getting the feel for it, maybe kind of, sort of. But it is good. I do have some criticisms to say towards it, but I think I'll save those for another day. Anyway, so other than that, we may go ahead and get started with Jet Set Radio, or otherwise known as Jet Grind Radio in Europe or in PAL regions. This is one of the more interesting titles that came out on the Sega Dreamcast, and Sega decided to port it to PC. I don't know when they did it, like 2010s, 2011, something like it was a while ago. But yeah, they started porting a bunch of stuff from Dreamcast to PC, and this is definitely one of the ones that I'm most interested in. Now I know the controls are a little bit awkward, a little bit funky, and a little bit weird, but still a fun game. I really want to play Jet Set Radio Future, the one on the Xbox, but that one's only on the Xbox. They didn't port that one. And there is a game coming out that's inspired by Jet Set Radio. I don't remember what it's called. I'll have to look for it. But we did actually see a trailer for that at some point. Several months ago. I was doing like a PlayStation. What's the name of them? A State of Play presentation. I was kind of disappointed, and then after it, I showed a trailer for that not Jet Set Radio game, and it was pretty cool. So I'll have to look for the trailer again. But anyways, I've only played the game for a little bit, but I did watch a playthrough of it by Scottish Duck 17. This is one of my Scottish Duck 17 is one of my biggest inspirations for Let's Playing, because it's basically the first Let's Play that I ever started watching back in early 2010s. No, 2008. How long I've been watching Scottish Dog 17. I mean, I don't really watch him that much anymore these days, but it's still going. It streams. He streams instead of doing classic Let's Plays now, and still does his collection of this and all that. So hey, pretty cool guy, pretty cool stuff. Anyways, there is a big story, don't be modest. You traveled across the 7 seas, traded with various artists, now sent your own oil, shared the price. No, not really, there's really nothing grandiose. I just kind of grabbed the pen one day and started drawing. Okay. Anyways, Jet Set Radio. It is a fun game. It's got a very unique art style. That's probably one of the most unique things about it. It's got that cell shaded thing that was getting kind of popular in the early 2000s, late 90s maybe. When is this game came out? 2000? Like the year 2000 or 1999? Sometime around that time frame. The Dreamcast itself was only around really for like 3 years, if that, maybe. I don't know. Alright, anyways. Go ahead and add this to the collection. That will be the first game we add tonight. Jet Set Radio. Again, it's also called Jet Grind Radio in PAL regions. I don't know why they changed it from Jet Set to Jet Grind. I don't know, I feel like Jet Set Radio rolls off the tongue a little bit better. But, or I don't even know why they. I mean, I guess because you do grind, you do a lot of grinding in Jet Set Radio, so they changed to Jet Grind Radio. Yeah, because you grind with jet boots, kind of. So I guess it makes sense. But I still like the name Jet Set Radio better than Jet Grind Radio. When's the last time you played a game on stream, by the way? Was it December? No, the last time I played a game on Steam was Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. That was about a month ago. Maybe less than a month ago. Again, I was gonna play Chris Tales. Actually, yeah, I was like half a month ago. It wasn't that long ago. I was gonna play Chris Tales right after, but again, I already explained why I'm not playing Chris Tales. And I actually was going to start a playthrough of what's the name of it? God of War: Chains of Olympus, and we did one stream of it. And then I realized I don't really want to play God of War: Chains of Olympus right now. Like I'm not really in the mood for that game. I was just kind of maybe sort of forcing myself to play something, And that ain't right. You don't want to play a game just because, like, you don't want to play a game out of obligation. You want to play it because it's, because you want to play it. Final Fantasy, I have not streamed any Final Fantasy games. And as far as games of the series that I'm interested in playing, there's not that many. Final Fantasy X is my favorite Final Fantasy. I will definitely stream that someday because I freaking love that one. But other than that, I did play the original Final Fantasy VII and it was okay. It was alright. I probably would not play it again though. I tried to play Final Fantasy VIII. I got to disc 1. Didn't really like it that much. I played a little bit of Final Fantasy IX. Everybody loves Final Fantasy IX, but I have yet to really play that one. So I'll have to see how I like it. Final Fantasy X-2, I played it. I did enjoy it. Not as much as the original 10. But I did enjoy Final Fantasy X-2. What else? I have not played any of the classics, like, from 6 and earlier. And I'm not really that interested in playing them either. Like, I mean, they look fine. I know Final Fantasy VI in particular has a huge following behind it. But, like, I think I'm okay without them. I am not going to play the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy XIV, which gives you a free access up to the Heavensward expansion pass or whatever the fuck it's called. I'm watching a friend play Final Fantasy XIV and as an outsider, that game is loaded with cutscenes. It's just cutscene. I love the story in games and I defend it. Wow, yeah. As far as games loaded with cutscenes, I did once, many years ago, stream the entire Xenosaga series. Well, I streamed Xenosaga 1 and 3 in their entirety, and Xenosaga 2 up until I couldn't handle it anymore because it had so many freaking cutscenes. And yeah, I do not like games that just bump. I do not like movies that sell themselves to you as games. That's the correct way of saying that. Maybe that's why I never really got into Metal Gear Solid that much either, because Metal Gear Solid is just cutscenes and cutscenes and cutscenes and more cutscenes, and it's just, no. I like to actually play games, not watch them. So yeah. I was joking with my friend streaming it that it was a movie and not a game. Yeah, it's, yeah, when a game has too many cutscenes, like, I get it. You want your game to have a good narrative, you want it to be immersive and all of that nonsense, but there's much better ways to make a narrative-driven game than to just sit the player down and have them never touch the controller. You don't want that in any game. And I feel like, I mean, this isn't something specifically against them, but like, I feel like Japanese games in particular have a problem with that. Like, narrative-driven games from a lot of narrative-driven games from Japanese studios just sit you down to watch cutscenes for a very long time, and they're well-made cutscenes. Like, I mean, I remember the choreography and the acting on the Xenosaga cutscenes was fine. And I remember we played Yakuza. The cutscenes in that one, particularly in Kiwami 2, they were fine. It's not like the cutscenes are bad. It's just that, again, it's a game. You don't go into a game expecting to watch. You go into a game expecting to play. A lot of Western games are more cutscene driven. I guess they at least give you a bit more control. Or they'll weave the narrative into the gameplay. That's the way you do it. If you want to tell a narrative through a game, you gotta make sure that the narrative is told alongside the gameplay and not as a separate thing. Like, I guess, you know, don't interrupt gameplay with cutscenes. Build the game around the story and the cutscenes, kind of. I guess, yeah, that's a good way of explaining it. Anyways, what we're doing, Jet Set Radio. Okay, Okay. It's a bad comparison, but in Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 3, you actually learn about the story as you fight. So it's a fighting game, and when you fight your opponent, dialogue is exposition, and certain dialogue is unlocked when you perform certain moves or get your opponent's HP to a certain point. I have not played Tenkaichi 3, but I do know about it. And I did play Tenkaichi 1 and 2, which is not the third one, even though it's supposedly the best one. And yeah, that's a better way to do it. Look, just implement this story into the gameplay. Now, it's Dragon Ball. Everybody know. Probably most people playing Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 know the story of Dragon Ball, so they don't really need to be retold the story again. I think we talked about this a couple streams ago. Yeah, that's definitely a better way to do it. Okay, anyways, first game of tonight has been added. 20 minutes later. That's how long it takes me to get through these freaking streams. And how long do you guys think until I get the obligatory phone call of tonight? I don't know, it's probably gonna come. Well, we never talked about Budokai Tenkaichi. We never talked about Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but we did talk about Dragon Ball and their stories when I added Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 a couple streams ago. I talked about how I'm tired of every Dragon Ball game just retelling the Dragon Ball story over and over and over and over. I'm sick of it. I want a Dragon Ball game with an original story, like 100% original, new characters and everything. And not freaking Goku beating Frieza and all that again. But yeah, this was several streams ago. I don't think you were there for that one. But nonetheless, there it is. We did add that game several streams ago. Okay. Anyways, back to what we were doing here. What is this? Joe Devers Lone Wolf HD Remastered. I probably got this from a Humble Bundle. Yeah, I don't think I would buy this, just on a whim. But I have actually played a little bit of it. I think, maybe, sort of, kind of. It's a game that from the screenshots that I'm looking at here, it does actually have like a combat system and puzzles that you solve. But I believe the game actually starts you off like a book. Like, you literally start with a bunch of text. And the game kind of starts giving you options on how you want your character, I guess, Joe Dever. Or maybe Joe Dever is just the writer, and the Lone Wolf is the actual character. Whatever, you know, the character. How you kind of want to craft them, how you want to raise them up. It's very much an RPG. It's a Western RPG. Visual novel. I guess you could compare it to a visual novel, but it's more of a... I would sooner compare it to just a Western role-playing game. A narrative D&D experience. Where you later do get some actual gameplay and stuff. But again, I haven't really played it too much now. I did keep it in my collection anyways, rather than deleting it, because it looks interesting. It looks like it could be fun. I just need to invest some time into it. And also, I realized, it has been brought to my attention that I forgot to actually let you guys know of our ambience noise for today. It is Rain Sounds Nights Mountain Forest Ambience Treehouse by the Guild of Ambience. So that's pretty cool. And that's all we really have today. I didn't have any quirky like cartoon sound effects playing it early because I didn't prepare anything. But okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and add Joe Devers Lone Wolf. Oh, HD remastered. I guess we'll just write it like that. I don't like writing it like that, but that's kind of how we have to do it. Is there a game you added yet that you regard as one of your favorites? S tier. Yeah, I've definitely added a couple of games in that category. Mostly, I think, on my PlayStation collection. That's where some of my favorite games of all time really are. But let me go ahead and add this first. Yeah, let me see. I think it was on my... Yeah, on my PS3 collection, I definitely have some classics. Some personal favorites of mine, like... I guess we could say the original God of War is a favorite of mine. But definitely the Infamous games are some of my favorite games. Especially Infamous 1 and 2. Festival of Blood is great too, but the Infamous games are some of my favorites. I would definitely say that Ico and Shadow of the Colossus are very high up there. The Jak and Daxter games are great. What else? Okami is one of my favorites. The Ratchet and Clank games are some of my favorites, especially the ones on the PS2. But A Crack in Time is pretty good too. Resident Evil Code Veronica is my favorite Resident Evil. The Sly Cooper games, some of my favorites as well. The Tales of series is my favorite. Ow. My arm. Anyways, the Tales of series is my favorite JRPG series, period. So yeah, we definitely have added a couple of other games, just outside of the of Steam, which is what I'm currently working through. Fatal Frame, Klonoa 2 is one of my favorite side-scrollers. What else? Do I have anything on the Switch? So Mario Odyssey was great. Smash is great. And as far as Steam stuff is concerned, I think we do have a couple of bangers here somewhere. Bioshock. I freaking love the Bioshock games. What else? Bully. Bully is probably my favorite Rockstar game. Now that I bring up Rockstar, I do not like Rockstar games. For very similar reasons as to why I don't like Activision Blizzard and Electronic Arts and Ubisoft and Riot Games. A lot of freaking companies. But I mean, when I did play Bully, it was fantastic. The Crash Bandicoot games, of course. Cuphead, Darksiders, pretty good. Dust is great. Okay. You ever respond to your friend since last time? Oh, that private. I did not respond to that private message. I forgot all about that. I gotta take care of that after this stream. Yeah, I'll go ahead and answer later. I'm very absent-minded. Like, well, I'm not sure if that's the right word, but I get distracted very easily. Like, I'll say right now. I'm saying that I'll do it after the stream. I guarantee you I'm not, because I'm going to forget. So I'd have to like open a tab. In fact, that's probably what I should do. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, I'm going to leave this open right here, so that I remember to answer to that later. All right. Anyways, okay. Next game on the list is going to be Just Cause 2. I also have the first Just Cause, but I don't think that many people really talk about Just Cause 1 that much, because that game is really not that special. Just Cause 2 onwards is when they started making the series a bit more entertaining. And this one in particular is one I remember playing on my PS3. Well, not the full game, but the demo of it. And I had a lot of fun playing that demo. The game is just fun. Yeah, Just Cause 2 is just a fun game to play. Same for Just Cause 3 and 4, I would assume, but I remember Just Cause 3 came out and like there was a big fuss about that because Just Cause 2 was so popular. And then Just Cause 4 just kind of came out out of freaking nowhere, like a year or two later. And yeah, that one did not have any fanfare behind it. But Just Cause 2, Just Cause 2 and 3 at least, definitely made a lot more of a buzz in the gaming community. Now, it is a game where you mostly just go around destroying whatever. Yeah, it's kind of the best way I can describe Just Cause 2. It's a game where you go around an island and you just blow shit up. Steal cars and you fly around. Well, you don't really need to steal that many cars because your character has like a parachute and a grappling hook that you combine them together. You can literally just fly. You can just fly in this freaking game. It's a lot of fun. I'll have to play it myself a little bit more thoroughly before I decide if I really want to stream it or not. But yeah, it is definitely a fun series, and I appreciate a series that is just fun. It's not trying to be serious. It's not trying to be all mean and green. It's just fun. Okay, let's go ahead and add that to the collection. Just Cause 2. And the name is pretty genius too, because, you know, Just Cause in the context of narrative would be like fighting for a cause that is just, you know, fighting for justice. But the name also works as doing random shit, just cause. Just because you want to. Just because you can. It's a pretty ingenious name for a series of this style. So I appreciate that. I would classify this as unfinished, but not unplayed, because I have played it. Somewhat. Okay, but I have not finished it or completed it, so we will not rate it. Again, I try to only rate games that I have completed, unless, or at least beaten, unless it's a game that can't really be completed, which there are definitely some of those. Alright. Anyways, next in line is Kane and Lynch, Deadman, and its sequel, Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days. I should redeem Hydrate for 50 points. Thank you for redeeming the hydration, even though we don't have redeems. But I will drink some water. Okay. But yeah, the Kane and Lynch games are third-person shooters. And they're very ugly. I remember Jacob Geller. Jacob Geller has a video on the Kane and Lynch series, alongside some other games. And yeah, these are games that are very ugly in a lot of senses. Not just in like visually they're ugly. I mean they are. Like, but they're like intentionally ugly. They are intentionally ugly. And not in the way that games usually are like pretty because they're ugly. No, they're just ugly. But like, again, intentionally ugly. And what you do in the games is ugly. And the characters are ugly. And there's a lot of things are just ugly about them. And they're not fun. In the sense that they're not intended to be fun. They're intended to be... These games are intended to make you feel dirty. And there's the phone call that I was expecting, so I will catch you guys in just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I think we have consistently had the stream interrupted by a phone call every single time for like the past 2 months. I don't know. It's just kind of funny that it always happens. It always will happen. And I keep saying that I gotta work on an emote for it, but you know, funny thing about that, I did last week. I said that I was gonna start doing art streams, and then this week I haven't done any art streams because I've been focused on just making art. Period. And my art streams involve also like getting some gameplay footage so I can play it on the corner. And because I haven't been collecting any gameplay footage, then I can't do my art streams. But I have been taking my time to do art anyway, so... Look, it's just the whole thing. But anyways, yeah, Kane and Lynch, Deadman, and Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days. I haven't personally played the games myself. Well, actually, I did play the demo of both of these. And they're not terrible, it's just... They definitely could be better. Hey, Jackrabbit, it's like the plumber from Ratchet and Clank. Gotta have it appear at least once. Yeah, it's the plumber moment of every stream. Anyways, welcome to the stream, Jackrabbit. We started about half an hour ago, 35 minutes ago, it says. And we have only added this games over here, so you haven't really missed anything particularly insane. But let's go ahead and add Kane and Lynch to the collection. Kane and where's the ampersand? There's the ampersand. Kane and Lynch Dog Days. By the way, if you guys want to know the difference between an and an ampersand, is that an and just by itself works, you know, exactly how you think it works. You can put blue and black, and you can put flowers and trees. You can put domestics and economics. You can put, you know, and just increases the amount of stuff that's combined there. But an ampersand is only used when it's two things that kind of form a duo. So, like, I could type this as Kane and Lynch, but Kane and Lynch with an ampersand suggests that Kane and Lynch are a group, that they're a duo, that they're partners. Ratchet, come on. Ratchet and Clank, written like that, suggests that Ratchet and Clank are a duo. And for some reason, Jak and Daxter is actually spelled with an and like this instead of an ampersand, but it would actually make more sense to spell it like that. Jak and Daxter with an ampersand, because it suggests that Jak and Daxter are a duo, which they are. But yeah, that's why you can't just casually use an ampersand as a replacement for an and every time, because it's not really grammatically correct. But hey, the more you know. Anyways, Kane and Lynch. It's on Steam. It's unfinished and unplayed, but again, I have played like the demo, but not as much as I played the Just Cause 2 demo, so I'm not gonna classify it as having played it really, kind of. But yeah. It's an intentionally ugly game. And then Kane and Lynch 2. Wait a minute. Oh, I messed that up. Hold on. I messed this up. Kane and Lynch 1 is called Dead Man, not Dog Days. It's Kane and Lynch 2 that's called Dog Days. Alright. Let me see if that actually shows up in the thing. Yeah, it accidentally shows up over here like Dog Days. Yeah, Kane and Lynch 1 is called Kane and Lynch Dead Man. Kane and Lynch 2 is the one that's called Dog Days. Okay, let's go ahead and fix that. It's fine. Oh, not PS2. Kane and Lynch 2 is not on the PS2. That would look ugly. That would look even uglier. Lynch 2 dog days. Okay. By the way, the game actually has a little bit of I think it uses a little bit of Hanji characters. Because if I'm not mistaken, the game takes place in Hong Kong? China. Definitely a Chinese-speaking nation. I mean, technically Hong Kong is part of China, but that is a more specific... Hong Kong is a more specific part of China, but technically it's also not part of China. You know, it depends who you ask, if Hong Kong is part of China or not. Politically, it technically is. Culturally, it's very different. It's like one of those things that, like, it's only part of the country in like official papers, but not in spirit. I guess could say that. But anyways, getting lynched too. But yeah, it's set in Hong Kong. And speaking of, there's a game that's set in. I'm talking about specifically about sleeping dogs. I guess I don't know why the word dogs is always used when referring to, well, not always, but like sometimes it's used to refer to like somewhere set in China. There are a lot of dogs in China. I've not really seen that many dogs in Chinese environments. But then again, I haven't seen that many like Chinese movies in general, like kung fu movies or anything like that. Even though I really want to watch Kung Fu Hustle. I've heard really good things about that movie, but I've yet to watch it. Anyways, Kenny Lynch Dog Days. Let's did I finish adding that? I did not finish adding that one. So let's go ahead and finish adding it. Okay. Kenny Lynch 2 Dog Days. It's on Steam, on Plate, and all the other. Okay. And we go ahead and add that. Alright. So I did not take those games out of my collection because they might make for an interesting stream series or just fun to play in general. And I'll admit that the Jacob Geller video of them did kind of convince me to at least give them a shot and look at them from a different perspective. From the perspective of, again, these games are intentionally ugly. And intentionally, they're going for a very specific kind of experience, which is a thing. Okay. Anyways, next in line, KO the Kangaroo Round 2. This is the best game made by a Polish studio. CD Projekt Red, I don't know them. I like my friends over at the what's the name of the studio again? Tate Multimedia. But yeah, KO the Kangaroo 2, Round 2 specifically, is it's a game. KO the Kangaroo is it's an old 3D platforming mascot that's actually getting a reboot, which I'm actually fairly excited about this one. But it's an old 3D platforming reboot from that started on the Dreamcast. Then it got a sequel that came out pretty much on everything, on PS2, GameCube, Xbox, and even PC, and even the PSP. And then it got a third game that only came out in very specific parts of Europe. But then, like randomly, like 2 years ago, yeah, 2019, they brought KO the Kangaroo Round 2, only Round 2, to Steam. It's only $2, by the way. It's pretty cheap. It's definitely a fun, worthwhile thing to spend $2 on. But they only brought this one to Steam. And then, I think sometime either late last year or early this year, they brought the entire KO the Kangaroo trilogy to GOG. And it's only like $6, so I gotta get that eventually. I actually did play KO the Kangaroo 1 on an emulator, and it's not great. Absolutely not. I would not really recommend KO the Kangaroo 1, but it's there. And KO the Kangaroo 2 is definitely a lot, it's definitely the best it's interpreted to be the best game in the series because it's just the most. It's the most polished. It's got the most interesting level design. It's just fun. It's not perfect. It's got some problems, but it is fun. And then KO3 is not bad. It's just like really short, like extremely short. But again, if you want the entire KO series, you're gonna have to go to GOG, goodoldgames.com, not here. But yeah, the studio is Polish. And yeah, imagine Nintendo games on Steam. That would be nice, actually. They would make a lot of money. They would make so much money. I would love to play Mario and Zelda and Metroid and all of those on my PC without needing an emulator. But Nintendo is, well, Nintendo can get away with it. Nintendo can get away with never releasing their first-party IPs on anything besides a Nintendo console because they have such a massive loyal fan base that is willing to loyal fan base, willing to purchase anything and everything that they make. And that's kind of unfortunate that they rely on. I mean, it's not necessarily like it's a problem to have. It's not like it's a problem to have a loyal fan base, but they do get a little bit violent sometimes, I will admit. Why is it Microsoft and PlayStation don't mind cross-platform? Well, okay, Microsoft particularly doesn't mind it because Microsoft also owns, the Windows PC, which is the main kind of PC that pretty much everybody uses. So for them, it doesn't really matter if you're using an Xbox or a Windows PC because all that money is going to the same place anyways. So it's in Microsoft's benefit to let you play games either on Xbox or on PC, whichever one you like to use, because again, it's pretty much all going to the same place. And PlayStation, they understand that the PC market is huge. It's massive. I would also say that the PC market is easier to access for a lot of regions. So like, a lot of people don't have easy access to a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation 5, but they do have much easier access to a computer. Third world countries or just less fortunate countries that are not like the big guys, or like Europe or North America or Japan or South Korea, other countries, they have to they would have to rely on harder methods to get a hold of a PlayStation. I know, because I come from a third world country. Well, my poor third world country, and I guarantee you that any PlayStations that I owned as a kid were not first-hand PlayStations. They were second-hand, like used or pirated consoles. So they wouldn't really be getting that money anyways. But if they sell their games on an online store for PC gamers, then they can still get that money from those third world countries anyway. And I'm sure that's not the main reason. I'm sure the primary reason is just they just see that there's a lot of there's just an audience that's much easier to reach into on the PC marketplace, regardless of the country. But hey, that's just one of my reasons. I like PC because of portability mainly. I have a gaming laptop and I can take it anywhere. Yeah, that's also a nice thing. This PlayStation doesn't really have a good track record with supporting their portable devices. PlayStation. Then having something like what's the name of it? Like Detroit Become Human or what am I trying to think of? Death Stranding on your gaming laptop works much better. And with the Steam Deck coming out, oh, they're definitely gonna want to get in on that, because that's basically, if PlayStation starts releasing their original IPs on Steam a lot more, then the Steam Deck is basically their indirect answer for a new PlayStation portable device, because there's just a lot of people playing PlayStation games on a portable device officially. Works for them. Go ahead, Sony, put everything on Steam so we can get it portably. Being able to use mods more freely also helps. Which server country am I from? I am originally from Colombia. I think I've mentioned. I don't think I've really officially mentioned this before, but no, I have. Yeah, I'm originally from Colombia, which is why Crystals got me so excited, because Crystals itself is made in Colombia, and it's based after Colombian architecture and environments, and it's a Colombian game, true and true, and that's why I got so excited about it. Yes. Anyways, KO the Kangaroo 2, I was gonna add that, but I forgot. Okay, let's go ahead and add that to the collection. KO the Kangaroo Round 2. This one is actually unfinished but not unplayed. I played through the first world, and yeah, it was a lot of fun, but I didn't really finish it, so I'll have to go back and do that later. Okay, go ahead and add that, and let me get some water because I need to hydrate. Okay, excellent. Now, anyways, yeah, I did mention I'm from Colombia. I've never done a Spanish stream, but I do speak Spanish. I just don't like speaking in Spanish when I'm streaming, because I guess, okay, well, two reasons. First of all, I've kind of lost some of my Spanish because I mainly speak English now. What am I talking about? Yeah, I mainly speak English on my day-to-day basis now, because first of all, that's the language they speak over here in the United States. That's where I live now. And secondly, Spanish itself is a difficult language to make to have fun with. I don't know how to explain it, but Spanish is a more serious language than English. You can do a lot more. You can be a lot more informal with English, and you can definitely be informal with Spanish. But it's definitely more. What's the word? It's more difficult to be informal with Spanish without leaving people out because of the specific accents that you'd have to adopt. Like, each country has their own accent that they're informal with, but what's intelligible for one, what's comprehensible for one language, for one country, for one Spanish-speaking country like Mexico or Colombia, may not be so comprehensible for another Spanish-speaking country. So, like, I've explained this before with how Spanish from Spain is sometimes almost incomprehensible for Latinos, because they have so many different words. So yeah, it's difficult to be fun with Spanish, but it is possible. ¿Cómo estás? Eso es genial, sabes inglés, eres muy inteligente. Thank you, gracias. Se le aprecia mucho. Okay. One thing I want to know: how does Spanish deal with transgender or people who prefer they them? The entire language is structured around masculine and feminine words, more so on the masculine side. That's a whole conversation. The short answer is we don't. There is no they them pronouns in Spanish, which makes it kind of difficult for transgender people in Spanish to identify. So there's been talks about introducing the pronoun ella, which is the they them equivalent is neither ella, not él, it's ella. So If you don't want to identify as masculine or feminine, you technically can use it, but that's not been officially implemented yet. And the and as explained by the RAE, stands for Real Academia Española, which is like the Royal Spanish Academy. The quote-unquote genderless form in Spanish is the masculine form. So like, I remember they explained this to me when I was a kid. If you're in a room with 30 people, and 29 of those people are women, and one of them is a man, then the correct way to refer to the people in that room is ellos. Ellos en ese cuarto. Even though it's 29 women and one guy. That one guy being there in Spanish turns the correct pronoun into the masculine form. And understandably, that's kind of bullshit. Understandably, people don't like that. I don't like that. I never liked that, even since I was a kid. So Spanish could definitely evolve. Spanish could definitely change, and language just changes in general, whether it wants to or not. But we are currently at the crossroads of Spanish trying to change, but we're not really sure how to change it yet. So in my opinion, the best way to approach they them pronouns in Spanish would be to just not necessarily implement they them pronouns, but start referring to people that don't like to be referred to by he or she. I don't know, by name or in other methods. Like, for example, Japanese doesn't really use pronouns, period. Like, they don't really use he or she. They use, like, context-based, they have a more of a context-based system where you don't really have to specify if someone is male or female ever. That's mostly an English thing. And, that idea kind of works for any language. They, them pronouns don't necessarily work for every language. So different languages have to find their own way to be more inclusive. They, them works for English, but it doesn't necessarily work for every language. So that's something that English, or not English, that language experts will have to work on over the years. I'm not a language expert. I mean, I do like learning about languages, and I would like to learn a couple more languages, but yeah. Did you leave Colombia because of an oppressive government? Not because of that. That is true. There is, in fact, oppressive governments in all of Latin America. Yeah, pretty much just look up any Latin American country, with the exceptions of maybe like Costa Rica and Panama. Yeah, pretty much just those two. And even they probably have a couple of problems. But yeah, just look up any freaking government in Latin America and they all have a little bit of a problem. But no, the actual reason I left is because my mom left Colombia so she could make more money here in the United States, because it just wasn't working out in Colombia. Colombia does not, Colombia has a bit of a problem where basically women at the age of like 34-ish are no longer considered, or at least back in the day, back when my mom was there, at that point they're basically not really considered to be viable for the workforce in like their mid-30s, even though that's bullshit. But that's what happened to her. She was basically, as soon as she became 34, they were kind of like, we don't really want you to work anymore because you're not really viable anymore. And yeah, that was a freaking problem. So she came to the United States so she could provide for the family, and that's why I'm here now, because she brought me over, and I'm glad that she did. I'm very glad I did it. It would have been very difficult for me to thrive in Colombia. And I mean, it's not like I'm in the best possible place ever here in the United States, but it's definitely I definitely understand that I'm better off here than I would be in my home country. I love my family, and I do have some amount of Colombian pride, but it's not you know, it's I do understand the problems with my country. Yeah, poverty is rampant in Latin America, unfortunately. But anyways, that's about enough of that for now. We'll go ahead and maybe we'll go to Colombia a little bit during the Google Maps section of today's stream. Anyways, back to fun video games. Katamari Damacy Reroll. This is a remaster of the very first Katamari game. There are multiple of them. There are like 5 Katamari games, not counting this one, because this is just a remaster of the first game. I don't know. I think I got this from like a Bandai Namco Humble Bundle. Yeah, because I don't believe I bought this on its own. But I did always kind of want to try the Katamari games. And, well, there you go. Katamari Damacy Reroll. I did see Germa play it a little bit. It looks very frustrating. It's a game, it's definitely a game of its time, trying to do something different. But it's also so mindlessly fun that I can't really be mad at it. So I'm looking forward to trying it out someday. It will definitely be an interesting experience. But I don't have that much to say about it other than that. I don't know if they're going to be porting any of the other Katamari games into Steam or just anything in general. But that would be nice. Damacy Reroll. I guess we gotta write it in all caps because that's what they freaking did. Is there any dish or cuisine that you love from your country? Oh yes, arepas. Arepas is probably like one of my favorite foods ever besides like pizza. And arepas is like how do I explain it? I don't know how familiar you are with Mexican food. If you know what gorditas and sopes are, I'm not even sure if those are Mexican themselves, or Salvadorian pupusas. If you're familiar with any of those 3, arepas are very similar to that. They're made of a different texture. The flour is different. And what you can put on arepas is basically whatever you type. Will you type it in chat? Yes, I will type that in chat. Arepas. Now, arepas are, I think they're more officially a Venezuelan thing, not a Colombian thing. But they are very widespread in Colombia. Basically, both Venezuelans and Colombians love arepas. Where they're officially from is kind of mostly believed to be Venezuela. But kind of like how pizza is originally from Greece, but everybody associates it with Italy because Italy also makes a lot of pizza. A similar scenario. So like, arepas are not officially from Venezuela, but they did make themselves. I mean, are kind of officially from Venezuela, but they made their way into Colombia, and Colombians also developed their own dishes and their own way of making arepas. So it's a huge thing for us as well. Besides that, there's also let me type this chat. Ajiaco. Ajiaco is a soup. It's a chicken soup with potatoes and not sour cream, heavy whipping cream, but like Hispanic whipping cream. It tastes a little bit different, and it's so good. It's I'm like I do enjoy my soups, and amongst the soups I enjoy, that's definitely up there. Almost one of my favorite. It's like a Spanish version of a hamburger. I guess that's a way to say it. We do actually have such a thing as Colombian hamburgers, though. And they are hamburgers, just with a little bit more stuff going on. Like, they have beans in them. They can have eggs in them. They can have... We use a sauce that is a combination of ketchup and mayonnaise. In Colombia, we call it salsa rosada, which means pink sauce. And I've actually seen it on supermarkets here in the United States now. They call it mayo chup, like ketchup and mayonnaise, mayo chup. That's what Heinz calls it. And yeah, just make someone stream one day. Maybe. I mean, I've never done a cooking stream. And I don't think I would. I'll probably have a difficult time actually recording that, because I don't have a laptop, so I couldn't just bring my my setup. Well, I mean, I do have a laptop, but I don't have a laptop that I can stream with, because it's a very, very old laptop. But I guess I could technically take pictures of the process and like walk you guys through how I do it. And yeah, it is delicious though. It is absolutely delicious. I do know how to cook. I don't know how to cook very well, but I do know a couple of dishes. I do know how to... My mom says that I can season very well. Apparently, I'm very good at seasoning. I do take pride. By the way, I will correct you right now. It's Colombian with an O. That is a mistake that a lot of people will make, writing Colombia with a U, because of Colombia with a U being like the District of Columbia in like DC in Washington, and there is such a thing as Colombia with a U, but yeah, it's a very important distinction. That one letter is the difference between Europe and Latin America, basically. Or North America and Latin America. You could record it with your phone and do a documentary on it. I could do that too, actually, yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely think about it. If one day I want to be like, I want to come into stream with like a different thing. Well, I don't even have to make that a stream. I could just make a video. Like, hey guys, different kind of video today. We're making arepas, and it's just like a quick video on how to do it. And yeah, that would be interesting. But okay. Anyways, Katamari Damacy. I was supposed to be adding this like a while ago. Like how huevos has two meanings. Well, I mean that's different, because huevos. Huevos is that's spelled correctly. It's just that word has two different meanings. This is two different words, like Colombia versus Colombia. Yeah, that's two different words. It's not the same word spelled. It's not the same word that has two meanings. It's two different words with two different meanings. And the thing is that the spelling difference is just one letter. But yeah. Yeah, just make sure that you make that distinction when you're talking about Colombia, the country in South America. It's Colombia. If you're talking about the District of Columbia in the United States, or somewhere I think somewhere in the UK is also called Colombia. It's Columbia. There are no U's in the South American country. There are no U's in the if you're talking about the Latino one. There is a U if you're talking about the North American one. So yeah, that's the important distinction that is important to make. But again, I understand it. In fact, I would imagine that if you're typing on your phone, or if you have autocorrect on or whatever, it would probably try to correct Colombia to Colombia with a U, which sucks. But it might also be like an auto-correcting. Anyways, what was I gonna do? What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, got that much reroll. Yeah, the buyer's American phone, very much so. Okay. Go ahead and add that to the collection. We have been streaming for 1 hour and 8 minutes. So hey. It's pretty cool. What's the next game in line? It is going to be Killer is Dead. Nightmare Edition says right there. Killer is Dead is a game by Suda51. The same director of stuff like No More Heroes, Killer 7, Lollipop Chainsaw, Shadows of the Damned, a couple of other games. But yeah, Suda51 is a pretty popular one amongst the his style is ultra violent hack and slash game with a lot of style. That's kind of Suda51 style. That's redundant, but anyways, yeah, Killer is Dead is it's one of the few Suda51 games that's actually on Steam, by the way. Let me see something here. Yeah, Grasshopper Manufacturer. Oh no, it's not even a Dip Silver Grasshopper Manufacturer. That's not the same thing. Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, I guess I don't have it listed here, but we did actually recently get a No More Heroes 1 and 2 on Steam. Now, I heard that they're not very well optimized, so that's kind of a problem, but that still means that there's a lot of games that we do not have on... There's a lot of Suda51 games that we do not have on Steam. Again, like Lollipop Chainsaw, we don't have that one. I think we do have Killer 7. I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe we have Killer 7. But we don't have Shadows of the Damned. We don't have... there was another one. There's another Suda51 game that I kind of want to try out that I don't think we have. Well... I'll have to remember when I can. But anyway, the Killer is Dead, Nightmare Edition. I don't know what's different about the Nightmare Edition, but that's the version I have. And, I don't know anything about the game. I just know there's a guy with a suit and a briefcase, I think, and he's got a sword. If it's a Suda51 game, I guarantee you the story is just going to be wacky nonsense. That's basically the story of every single Suda51 game. Is that spelled? Is that is? No, it's spelled like that. Killer is Dead, Nightmare Edition, Steam on face and on plate. By the way, just yesterday I found out that there is such a thing as a Steam emulator. And I guess this is where we can go ahead and transition to that thing that I wanted to discuss earlier. So, if you guys are not aware, well, you probably are, the Activision Blizzard thing that we briefly touched on last week has continued onto this week. Like, Young Yeah is doing a lot of videos about it. Basically every day some nonsense happens at Activision Blizzard. The latest thing was something about a fucking Cosby suit. Or suite, I mean. It's pretty disgusting. But point is, I am... needless to say, I am very, very disappointed in Activision Blizzard. And unfortunately, Activision Blizzard does own a couple of games that I personally really like. Crash Bandicoot, one of my favorite 3D platformer series of all time, is unfortunately currently owned by Activision Blizzard. And we haven't added it yet, but I'll go ahead and let you guys know. Where is it? Where is... there it is. Spyro is also owned by Activision Blizzard nowadays. And obviously Overwatch. I do actually have Overwatch on their Battle.net service and whatever. But honestly, at this point, I'm going to be very Activision Blizzard. Remember, we need to point out that it's not just Activision or Blizzard, it's both. It's Activision Blizzard. They are one company and the entire company is a shithole. From what we understand. But yeah, I'm going to be very, very wary with which games I stream from this point onward. And more importantly, I'm going to be very wary on what games I specifically spend my money on. So unfortunately, I did buy both Crash and Spyro like a couple months ago, like before the whole thing before the current events happened. That said, I will remind you guys that Activision Blizzard did find themselves in a very precarious spot. I want to say like 2 years ago, or it might have been just last year, with the whole Hong Kong protest thing, where one of their Hearthstone players from Hong Kong, was in favor of the Hong Kong protests, and Blizzard did not take that lightly. Activision Blizzard did not take that lightly, and made a huge fuss about it. And a lot of people were against Activision Blizzard when that happened, but I guess everybody forgot and forgave. And now we're back again. And again, the accusations being thrown at Activision Blizzard are pretty horrible. So definitely I will say this. Until we see significant change coming from Activision Blizzard. What did they do? But they banned his account, they like removed him, and they suspended him. They were going to originally suspend him for a year. Then after Backlash, they suspended him only for 6 months. When what they needed to do was not suspend him at all because he was, just in favor of his people. But it showed that Activision Blizzard was a lot more concerned with money than they were with the well-being of their people and their players and all of that. And I remember they made like a statement, not like what they did to Trump's accounts, basically. I think they made like a statement that they are that Activision Blizzard is in solidarity with the people suffering at Hong Kong and China. And they made that statement while still continuing to suspend the Hearthstone player that said that. So it's what Jim Sterling refers to as a solemn JPEG, where a corporation will put a JPEG with some words on it of solidarity on Twitter, while continuing to oppress and basically do the exact opposite of what they're saying that they believe. It's a pretty disgusting practice by corporations. It's like a corporation saying that they stand in solidarity with the LGBTQ community, and then refusing to actually support LGBTQ rights or movements, doing the opposite by like funding corporations or movements that go against LGBTQ rights, which is something that we've seen before. So yeah, so left JPEGs, whenever you see a corporation saying that they care and are deeply sorry about tragic events that happen to a marginalized group, don't believe them. They're just trying to get free Twitter points. Don't believe them. They don't care. They just want your money. They don't see you as human beings. They see you as cattle. Remember that. Anyway, so Activision Blizzard. Don't expect any streams from me in regards to like Overwatch. I definitely will not be like I was kind of maybe sort of at some point considering streaming Overwatch. Not anymore. Fuck that. Overwatch 2 is coming out later this year. Fuck that. World of Warcraft, if I ever had any interest in that one, fuck World of Warcraft. StarCraft, fuck StarCraft. Warcraft, not World of Warcraft, just regular Warcraft, fuck that one. Hearthstone, I never really was interested in the first place, but now more than ever, fuck that one. And as far as the games that are not online, games that are not like competitive or anything, it's not like I was interested in competitive games anyways, but like stuff like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro and all of that, I mean, I already own them, it's already in my collection, it's kind of too late to really put them back, but if I am interested in any of Activision Blizzard's games, I'm probably going to pirate them. And I know this is not really a good thing to be saying in public, but I'm probably just gonna pirate them. And I'm saying this to let you guys know that if a corporation is gonna be that freaking corrupt, just go ahead and pirate their shit. They don't deserve your money. Remember, the money that you spend on these games is not really going towards the developers. It's not going towards the hard-working people that brought you Crash Bandicoot and Insane Trilogy and Spyro Reignited Trilogy and any of those things. No, it's going towards the executives. It's going towards most of your money is going straight into Bobby Kotick's pockets, and maybe a couple of the higher-ups as well at Activision Blizzard. And maybe a little bit, like a very, very small, tiny amount of that money is going to go into the pockets of the people that actually develop the games. And again, it's not going to be enough for them to even be allowed to eat at the fucking cafeteria of Activision Blizzard, because they don't make enough money for that shit. Anyways, yeah, I knew that those developers are already paid. So your money is not going towards the developers. It's going towards the pockets of the CEOs, which do not need a cent. They did it. They won capitalism. Bobby Kotick won capitalism. He doesn't need one goddamn cent anymore. Hey, Collapse! Welcome to the stream. Hello, how are you? I got woken up by an upset stomach. Oh no. Make sure you drink lots of water and drink a pill if you need to. We have been streaming for an hour and 20 minutes. We have added a couple of games, and we are currently discussing about how Activision Blizzard is horrible. Then the publisher takes care of the rest. Yeah, so and also your money is not really guaranteeing that these games are going to get more games in the future. So they did make Crash 4, but remember that soon after Crash 4 came out is when Activision Blizzard said that they're putting basically their entire development team on Call of Duty, and like fuck Crash Bandicoot because they just want more Call of Duty because Call of Duty makes more money. So yeah, don't feel bad about pirating games owned by such corporations. I wonder, does any money from DLC purchases go back to the developers, and if so, how much? Probably very, very little, if any. We're talking about Hall's art background, Nintendo games on PC, Colombia Heritage, Spanish Wars, and now Activision Blizzard. Yeah, all of my streams are fun. Not because we talk about fun things, but because we like making fun of things. Alright. Anyways, so that's Activision Blizzard. But I will remind you guys that Activision Blizzard are not the only ones with a background of very horrible business practices and fucking sexual harassment. I'll remind you that Ubisoft is also part of that equation. And Ubisoft was the main one up until Activision Blizzard's nonsense came out a week or two ago. Nickelodeon is probably corrupt as well. I haven't heard specifically about Nickelodeon, but I believe it. I have no reason to not believe any corporations being corrupt. Now I will probably have to look into it later if I want to see specifically how they're corrupt. But yeah, Ubisoft. So like Assassin's Creed, I actually had a couple of games on my wish list that were that were by some of these corporations. But yeah, I mean, above a certain threshold of monetary value, I just assume the wars from corporations these days. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, don't expect any stream from me for like Hyperscape. I know that's like Ubisoft response to like the popular competitive shooter genre. Fuck that. I'm not playing Hyperscape ever. They have to go out of their way to prove themselves worthy to me. Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge. For a start, they are dancing on Hillenburg's grave and with SpongeBob. Yeah, I remember something about that. Like Hillenburg did not want certain things to be done with SpongeBob, and yet here they are doing it anyways with that new like the Patrick. Did you guys hear about that? The Patrick Star show. There's a SpongeBob spin-off based on Patrick Star, and it's from what I saw of it. I did not see an episode, but I did see a little bit of it, and it's like, ugh. I'm not a fan. Yeah, so they need to calm down with that. But yeah. But anyways, anything by Ubisoft, which includes unfortunately Rayman. I love Rayman. But if I'm gonna be playing any Rayman games, I'm gonna do it either through an emulator, or I'm gonna do it. I wanna find some copies to pirate online, because it's not like Ubisoft cares about Rayman anymore, anyways. And that includes the rabbits. Hey, there's a new Mario and Rabbids game coming out. It looks pretty cool. But it's got Ubisoft on it, so fuck that. So fuck them. Remember, if you want change in the gaming industry, which we definitely need fucking change in the gaming industry, you're gonna have to take extreme measures. You're gonna have to start boycotting. And you need to do it. You need to commit to that boycott. Wasn't there also a Camp Coral spin-off? It looked terrible, but I haven't seen anything. Yeah, there's also like a 3D version of it. And yeah, SpongeBob needs to be put to rest. SpongeBob has had a very long-running series. He's got some absolute classics under his belt. But at this point, there's very little else that SpongeBob. There's very little else that really should be done with SpongeBob, or I'd even argue there's nothing else that should be done with SpongeBob. Just let him go, let him rest, move on to other projects, move on to other things. Nickelodeon, it's time. He can continue to show up in like crossovers and video games and whatever, but like it's time to let go of SpongeBob. Just let him rest. Anyways, Electronic Arts is another one that I fucking hate. And Electronic Arts in particular is going to hurt the VTuber community, because Apex Legends is owned by Electronic Arts. Now, how many streamers, how many VTubers do you guys know that play Apex Legends? A lot! Probably all of them, or the grand majority of them. It'll probably be easier for you to count the amount of VTubers that don't play Apex Legends, as opposed to the ones that do. And fuck Apex Legends. I mean, I know the game itself might be alright, but again, Electronic Arts. Look, Electronic Arts might not have an active, ongoing investigation in regards of sexual harassment within the company, but that doesn't mean they're not a shitty company. Like, our standard for quality for corporations should not be they don't have active sexual harassment accusations against them. If that's the quality we're working with, we're working way too fucking low. We need to raise the standards. That is not enough. That is not fucking enough. And Apex Legends is arguably the most popular, or well, maybe second most popular battle royale game out there, only behind Fortnite. And amongst the VTuber community, it is the most popular. I would argue Apex Legends is the most popular game. Period. amongst the VTuber community, even more so than Minecraft. There's so many VTubers that dedicate so much of their streaming time to Apex Legends. It's kind of insane. And this includes VTubers that I personally really like Tokoyami Toa, and you know, Ollie, like Crazy Ollie. They are both obsessed with Apex Legends. It's a battle royale game. I'm surprised I can't remember anything about it. Yeah, Echo, yeah, and Echo also plays Apex Legends. So many people in like probably what's her name? Centrea plays a lot of Apex Legends. Everybody fucking plays Apex Legends. Pikami plays Apex Legends. And you know, previously I wasn't interested in Apex Legends just because the game didn't seem that interesting to me, because I don't really like battle royales. And now just remembering, just in general, I don't want anything to do with Apex Legends because I don't want anything to do with Electronic Arts, period. And unfortunately, I do own a couple of Electronic Arts games, like is that Electronic Arts? I don't think Alan Wake is Electronic Arts, but let me check. No, it's Remedy. But Alice. Alice is Electronic Arts, and I like Alice. I like it. I like the Alice games, but it's Electronic Arts, so fuck them. The Batman games this is Warner Bros. Interactive. Warner Bros. Interactive is also a piece of shit company. We don't talk about them too much, but they are a piece of shit company. They also crunch their developers. They also do shitty business practices. Did I remind you of the loot boxes of Middle-earth Shadow of War? That was some bullshit. That was Warner Bros. Warner Bros. Fucking sucks. Bioshock, I love Bioshock, but that's 2K Games. That's the same as Rockstar. Fuck them. They also... GTA Online is a goddamn mess as far as microtransaction is concerned. And also Rockstar Games crunches their developers so fucking bad. Now, okay, Bioshock is 2K Games, not Rockstar. But again, 2K Games is like kind of under the same umbrella of Rockstar. So yeah, fuck them anyways. What else do we have over here? Borderlands, that's Gearbox. Gearbox as a company in general is not the problem. The problem is their CEO, Randy Pitchford, which is a fucking piece of shit. I think we actually discussed Randy Pitchford when we added Borderlands to the collection. But goddamn. Well, I wasn't expecting a full recitation of whole shit list today, but here today, you know. I mean, we don't talk about them too much, but Bandai Namco probably has a couple of shitty things under their belt. Japanese developers in general and Japanese publishers probably have a lot of dirt that we don't talk about because they're Japanese. So there's that very thick language barrier for English speakers. But I know Japanese war culture can be pretty brutal. I mean, for God's sake, they have one of the highest rates in the world as far as like job-related deaths being concerned, because people get overworked to the point of, again, suicide, which is terrible. And we don't hear about the crunch culture from Japanese developers like Bandai Namco and maybe Arc System Works, or what else do we have over here? Let me see. Let's see. There's a couple of other Japanese ones. I'm not saying it. I don't have that many Japanese. Square Enix probably has some dirt that they need to dig up. But yeah, because Japanese developers, we don't really hear about them too much. But I guarantee you, there's some shit going on right there. That's kind of part of why I don't really watch that much anime anymore now, in hindsight. Because after finding out of how much, of how shitty the life is for animators. For animators, and how little they get paid and how much they have to overwork themselves to the point of breaking points, just kind of leaves all of this shitty business practices leave a sour taste in my mouth. By the way, Far Cry, Ubisoft, so fuck them. Yeah, I do find that it does genuinely leave a very sour taste in my mouth when I find out that a game that I own is itself owned by a corporation, by a company that does some very shitty practices. So like, I might be interested in playing Far Cry 3 and Blood Dragon because they look kind of interesting, but it's gonna leave a sour taste in my mouth knowing that Ubisoft is behind them. Maybe it's just because Nintendo's at the front of the brain right now, but it feels like Japanese companies are way more secretive than their Western counterparts. Yeah, there's also the whole thing with Japanese culture, and yeah, it makes you feel like a distant. Yeah, it makes you feel like, but like by playing these games and enjoying these games, it's like you're not the one that abused the developers, but by purchasing the products that were built under an abusive environment, it's like, ugh, I don't like this. It makes you feel dirty, and that has some direct impact on how you enjoy games. Anyways, or enabler might be a better word. You don't want to reward bad behavior even indirectly. Yeah, that's the best way to explain it. And that's why it just kind of leaves a sour taste in my mouth. So again, from this point onwards, I do fully condone piracy of games owned by shitty corporations. Support indie devs that are making, or just small developers that are making cool games, in cool environments, like Hair the Kangaroo. Well, at least I hope. At least I hope Tate Multimedia is doing a good job at that, at taking care of the developers. And what's another good game? Add in time, support stuff like Gears for Breakfast. Support stuff like Freedom Planet. Yeah, stuff like that. I'm willing to spend money on them, because that's fine. They're cool. They're made by cool developers, people I like, and I understand that some amount of crunch is going to find their way into pretty much any gaming project, and that sucks. I don't think that should be the standard. I don't think any games need crunch to be developed. That's bullshit. But I also understand that it's a very ubiquitous practice amongst the industry. But I would definitely like to see it happen a lot less. That would be nice. I don't think people need to. I don't think we need stress casualties for games to happen. But anyways, what I was saying is that the other thing about Japanese culture is very non confrontational. So you don't hear about Japanese developers complaining about their work culture or the kind of environment that they're currently at, because they don't wanna upset people. They don't wanna bring there's also a sense of loyalty towards your company in Japan that's much stronger than here in the West. So they don't wanna talk poorly about their company, even if their company is abusing them. They don't wanna make that seem like that they're making everybody else look bad. And yeah, and I guarantee you, Japanese corporations, like the higher ups, the people making the money, use that aspect of Japanese culture to exploit the workers. Because like they know they're not going to complain. They know they've been taught not to complain and to be loyal towards the company, so they can be abused without repercussions. And that's bullshit. I hate that. And when I found out that that anime is made under such conditions where the animators are getting barely any sleep and they're living in like absolutely deplorable conditions, in order to get this anime out in time, it's like, again, leaves a sour, ugly taste in your mouth when you're watching an anime that's very beautiful, very nicely crafted, but like it was made at the back of people suffering. It's like, ugh, I don't like this anymore. Okay, well, there's another phrase that also begins with the letter non-con. It almost sounds like the ancient way of Bushido applied to a corporate level, which makes me sick. Yeah, it's pretty it's pretty wild, and I would honestly like to see a Japanese person that covers this, someone that is, I mean, there might be someone like that, but we don't really hear about them again because of the language gap. But if we got somebody to start talking about Japanese, or maybe not even just Japanese, East Asian developers in general, and how they're crunched and how toxic the work environments might be. You know, you might not hear about people being harassed like they are over here in the West, because again, the non-confrontationalism might also involve with the managers not abusing their power to mistreat employees. In that sense, but they do use it to exploit employees by making them work ridiculous hours and knowing that they're not going to complain. And I guarantee you, gacha games, you know, that's also Japan and Korea and China. They probably are made under some very stressful conditions for the developers, which is probably why which is a big reason why I don't really like to get involved in the gacha games. And again, the whole industry, this is an industry-wide problem. It's not just Activision Blizzard. It's not just Electronic Arts. It's not just Western games, it's not just Eastern games, it's not just indie, or it's not just AAA. It's the whole industry. Indie games are a little bit better at it, but there are still shitty indie developers. Don't think that just because they're indie, they're not shitty. No, there have been some absolute bullshit happening in the indie scene. And yeah, it's pretty mad. This also ties into karoshi. Karoshi is the Japanese word for death from working. I think karo means work and shi means death. So yeah, literally work death. If there's an anti-corporate movement in Japan, it needs to beat its war drum louder. Yeah, it's we need to hear it loud and clear over here in the West, especially now that, you know, that's another thing that VTubers could help with, because VTubers are helping bridge the gap between the East and the West. So if we start hearing more about Japanese media and Japanese culture, work culture, thanks to VTubers, that would be fantastic. I'd love to see that. Anyways, I was wondering if you were going to mention Bad Apple Indies. Yeah, there's definitely some Bad Apple Indies in there. I think we mentioned Fez. Couple of streams ago. Where is it? Yeah, we mentioned Vez and how the developer Phil Fish was kind of about it. But yeah, there are I can't think of that many examples off the top of my head. But yeah, there are definitely bad Apple indie devs out there. And unfortunately, you might have to do some research before you buy video games now. That's the bottom line. You might not be able to just go into a video game and buy, oh, it looks fun, I'm gonna buy it now. No. Before you spend your money on something, it's worth being informed of what you're spending your money on. That is really the moral of the story here. Be an informed consumer. Be an informed no, not consumer, customer. Customer is a better word. Know what you're buying. Know where your money is going. Set your own morals, I guess. Don't let me tell you what to spend your money on, but do let me tell you that you shouldn't spend your money on just anything that might look interesting, because you should be a bit more informed before you make a purchasing decision. And yeah, that is something I seek to also implement into the VTuber community, because there's a lot of people in the VTuber community that are very new to gaming, and they don't know about those shitty practices that Electronic Arts and Activision Blizzard and Riot Games and all of them are doing. Well, they should know. VTubers should know about the shitty side of the gaming industry, because by not knowing about it, they might indirectly be supporting an industry that they don't really want to support. Because I don't think anyone really wants to support a corporation that does sexual harassment. No, I don't think we really want that in the gaming community. But if VTubers don't know that they're supporting such corporations, then they're just gonna do it anyways. There you go. I like to say that this goes hand in hand with play higher quality games, because when something's crafted with love and passion rather than crunch and profit chasing, you can tell. Yeah, absolutely. And this is not something that is easily explained in like a review, or like, oh, like, look, the games made with love and passion have prettier UI, or they play better or something. No, it's something that you literally feel as a player. When something is made with love and care, it's one of those human things. It's one of those things that you cannot explain as a in a Word document. It's not something that you can explain to somebody through like easy words. It's something that you literally have to feel, and it's palpable. It's definitely there. It's the same thing that makes your mom's cooking. It's the same thing that makes your mom's cooking taste better than a restaurant's cooking. Yes, they might both be doing the same exact thing, your mom and the restaurant, but your mom's tastes better because it's made with love. And love is not a little thing that you put in like a. It's not a little seasoning that you can put on the chicken or whatever, but it's something that you feel. It's that human thing. SpongeBob single Krabby Patty versus King Neptune's 1000 man. Yes, exactly. That is the prime example. It applies to so many other things besides hamburgers. Right. I ranted about late-stage capitalism like non-stop for half an hour. What were we doing? Right, video games. The King of Fighters 13 Steam Edition. Man, I love this. I love those. I love doing this. I think this is probably why I only can do one stream a week, because I would probably drive you guys insane if I talked about this every single day. But we do need to be reminded of this at least once a week. Alright. The King of... Is it the King of Fighters or just King of Fighters? It's the King of Fighters. Okay. The King of Fighters 13 Steam Edition. Now I kind of miss my mom a bit. I'll see if I can convince her or help her make that delicious Korean peanut chicken when I see her in a few weeks. Yeah, absolutely. I'm thankful and fortunate that I still okay, I mean, the topic of living with your parents is a touchy one, because I love my mom, and I do actually live with her, and I love her very much, and I love helping her, and I love her cooking, and I love everything about her. But I also feel like eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later, I would like to go on and do my own thing, because I can't live under my mom's shadow forever. I can't live under her assistance forever. I need to go and let life kick my ass a little bit. That is something that I have come to terms with at this point. I need to let life kick my ass a little bit, because I feel like I need it. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I need to learn, that I need to figure out how to do. And as long as I live with my mom, I'm not going. As much as she tells me that I need to get better and that it's going to happen one day, she's not going to let it happen, because my mom loves me too much, and my mom would not let life kick my ass. But I need life to kick my ass a little bit. It's gotta happen. It's going to have to happen one day, and I need it to happen so I can like mature and become a better person. Not in like a personality sense, but in like a be able to take care of yourself kind of way, or just, you know, learn about life. All right. Anyways, King of Fighters 13. I don't actually play that many fighting games. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, go ahead and put that here. We haven't added any games today that I've actually beaten. We haven't added that many games in general, but Not that many games that we have beaten regardless. Okay. Anyways, next in line is Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. It feels kind of awkward to try to continue this as normal after all the conversations we just had. But that's just the nature of these streams. You go into my stream and you know exactly what to expect. Okay, Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. This is a Tomb Raider game that's actually in an isometric view rather than the traditional third-person view. And it's also a co-op based game, so that's why you see the two characters here. It's Lara Croft, and I have no idea what this guy's name is, but he's also part of the he's also one of the two playable characters. And yeah, it's interesting. I don't remember where I got this game from, but hey, it's cool. Have your Google Earth adventures given you any ideas of where you might like to live someday? Not from my Google Earth adventures, because you know when you're trying to figure out where you want to live, you need to look at stuff like quality of living and like how I don't know. I get it's like how possible it is to move to that place, and how peaceful it is, and language barriers, and cost of living, and all of that sort of stuff. But I have a couple of countries in mind. We'll go ahead and do that in the Google Maps. So, yeah, we'll go to a couple of countries that I personally would like to visit. Oh yeah, there's that. Just curious if there were any broad urges. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that in the Google Maps section in about 10 minutes. Lara Croft, never heard of it. Yeah, it's I think there's two games like this one. There's this one, and also let me go ahead and look it up. Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light, and there's also Lara Croft Shadow of the Tomb Raider. No, not that one. Wow. Wait, no, it is okay. It is Square Enix. But I clicked on Crystal Dynamics. Why does it take me to Square Enix? Is it because Crystal Dynamics is owned by Square Enix? I mean, I feel like we should separate them anyways. But okay, whatever. I keep forgetting it's them that own freaking Ballad. Why is this mixed? Should it be mostly negative? Oh my god. Okay. I'll tell you one thing that influenced my where I want to live opinion. Go ahead and let me know, because I would actually be interested in knowing that. Arlo's editor Kane mentioned in the most recent video that the UK is in a heat wave and we don't have. Oh yeah, I learned about that not from Arlo but from Kadikarus. Yeah, Kadikarus said that he wouldn't be able to stream until like Thursday. Like earlier this week, he said that he wouldn't be able to stream until like Thursday because it was literally too hot in his room for him to move. And yeah, that's when he also mentioned, by the way, I'll let you guys know we don't typically have AC in UK households. It's like, what? Oh my god. So yeah, now, I don't know if that applies to the entirety of the United Kingdom, or if we're only talking about like specific parts of like more rural, older areas in like London, and maybe like, you know, the England part of the United Kingdom. Because, you know, that's probably the oldest one. But maybe newer cities or newer areas in cities might be built for more modern accommodations. I've heard this is also common in, like, Washington State because the weather is typically pleasant year-round. Yes, but I did hear from Kiddickers that, like, basically United Kingdom homes are designed... Because the United Kingdom is generally a cold country, the houses are designed to sustain heat, to conserve heat inside of them rather than letting the heat out. So when they're dealing with a heat wave like they are right now, it's a little bit of a fucking problem. They're fucking burning alive over there. The poor bastards. Okay. Anyways, what was I looking for? Lara Croft, right. Wow, Square Enix, you own a lot of shit. I forgot they had this game over here. But okay. Alright, anyways. Tokyo Dark, what is this? There's a visual novel? Probably a visual novel. Children of the... What are all of these Square Enix games I've never heard of before? Huh. And sure enough, they had a record-shattering heat wave 1 year after I learned about this. Even Canadians can't escape this issue, and it worries me a lot. Yeah, I was hearing about Domo Riga thinks he's a streamer that is very involved with VTubers, but he was doing a stream like a couple weeks ago. He lives in Vancouver. Vancouver. Again, this is like a western, right on top of Seattle. And they were dealing with like 110 or something like that degrees. Dude, that's probably death for Canadians. Canadians are probably used to snow in the summer. What the hell do you do at 110 degrees? Jesus Christ. Okay, anyways, don't forget, Balan Wonderboard is also a Square Enix game. Yes, it is, unfortunately. Lara Croft Go! Is that the one? I don't think that's the one I was looking for, but that is in fact a Lara Croft game. Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, that's the other one. Okay, so yeah, there's another Lara Croft game that is also in like a similar style. Yeah, sure. January 1st of 1994. That's exactly when I was born. Definitely. Yeah. So any Lara Croft games, no, Tomb Raider games that are actually named Lara Croft instead of Tomb Raider are actually played in an isometric view like this one, and are probably co-op or at least more puzzle based. So the more you know. If you're interested in this kind of style instead of the traditional Tomb Raider style, then there's your bit of knowledge for today. Okay, there we go. Back to here. Okay, the name was Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. Go ahead and add that one. I feel like Steam is the only place where I have to confirm my age, like, daily. Yeah, it's really dumb. I don't get why they do it. But they do it. Alright. Lara Croft and the Guardian, can I spell? Of Light. That is the name of the game, right? The Guardian of Light, yes. Okay, Steam, unfinished. I did play it a little bit back in the day, but not enough, so we're using Backloggery as such. Perfect. That is the description that I'm gonna put for this one, and we have time for about one more game to add before we move on to the Google Maps section. And the last game that we're going to add today, fittingly, The Last Remnant. There's no point in playing this specific version anymore because there is a remaster of this game now. But yeah, The Last Remnant is also a Square Enix game. It's an RPG, a JRPG. And it's one of those... Back when the Xbox 360 came out, and I'm not sure if this game was specifically on the Xbox 360. But back when in like the late 2000s to very, very early 2010s, there were a bunch of really weird JRPGs that came out. From a lot of studios. And there's Lost Odyssey. We added that on the Xbox 360 collection. There was Blue Dragon. There was Infinite on Discovery. And there was The Last Remnant. And I don't really know anything about The Last Remnant. I just know it's one of those weird RPGs that just kind of came out of nowhere. But I think it does have a bit of a cult following. And I mean, it had enough of a cult following for it to get a remaster. So I guess, you know, there's a number of people that appreciate The Last Remnant. Well, they never got a sequel or anything, so I don't know. Let me see the store page real quick, because they probably will advertise the request to publish The Last Remnant. It's unlisted on the Steam store and will not appear in search. Yeah, so I have it, but because of the remaster they have officially delisted wait. Where is it? Am I spelling it wrong? The Last Rem. Hello? Did The Last Remnant remaster get delisted? Oh, hold on a second. This is juicy. Wait. Did it get delisted? Hold on. The Last Remnant remastered. It's on the PlayStation Store. Hold on. Wait. The Last Remnant. So yeah, it's on the PlayStation Store, as you can see right here. You can buy it. It's actually on sale right now. But hello game. Game broke. It's on Switch. For 1991. Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, it's on Switch. It's... Wait. This game is on phones? What? Huh? Wait. How did they put an entire, like, 7th generation JRPG on a phone? Are phones this good nowadays? God damn. Alright. Okay, well, I didn't know that. But, anyways, where's the PC version? Alright. PS4, Guild Studio, Square Enix. Whatever, look, just 73, I'm a boomer, I don't care, alright, whatever. Now available on Nintendo Switch and PS4, but not Steam? Did it ever come out on Steam, or did it... Am I losing my mind? Am I losing my freaking mind here? Okay, hold on. The Last Remnant. Microsoft Windows. Yeah, it came out on Windows. That's the version I have. Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android. Yeah, wait, the remaster never came out on Steam? Now we know what it was listed on Steam. Oh, it was delisted. No, what? No, what? So they delisted the original version, but never put the remaster on Steam. This feels like a mistake. This don't feel right. Okay, now its absence from Steam seems almost suspicious. And yeah, you might be surprised how good phone gaming can get nowadays. That's impressive. Anyways, we have San Andreas and Fortnite on phone, so it's not impossible. It's not impossible. Ah, well, there you go. More you know. Square Enix is gaslighting me. Yeah, like seriously, what happened? No, I need to confirm this. All right. Okay, this is the... Yeah, oh, it's just... This PS... Alright, no. I refuse to believe that this never came out on PC. That's not remastered PS4... No, yeah, here's the... But is this the now delisted PS4 PC? Oh, wait, no, so like for real... So, like, for real, they never released The Last Remnant Remastered on PC. What? No, that's gotta be a mistake on Square Enix's part. Like, it does not make sense that they would not post the game. They would not put the game up on Steam, but they would delist the original one. So, like, okay, so what you're telling me is that what I own right here, this little piece of history, this is like worth something. Because you can't get this game anymore. Oh. Well, damn. Alright. Well, that is very strange, but I'm going to add it anyways. I couldn't find any Twitch emotes that conveyed a sense of confusion, so here's the fish, yes. That works out. Absolutely. Okay. Anyways, and that's the last game we're at tonight, The Last Remnant. That is such a fitting name. This is The Last Remnant of The Last Remnant. There are no other Last Remnants on PC. This is The Last Remnant of The Last Remnant on PC. That is the dumbest thing. Alright, whatever. We are now moving on to the Google Maps section of today's stream. We will do this for about half an hour. Anyways, the word. Maps. Actually, hold on. Yeah, let me do something here real quick. Did this actually bring me somewhere? Okay, this did actually bring me somewhere, but let me not, let me go ahead and do this real quick. Okay, I didn't know of something in particular here. If I zoom in over here, I do not have the the place pulled up because I need to check something for just a minute. Just a minute. I need to make sure that Google does not give painfully incriminating evidence of where I live. That's what I need to do. Okay. It does not. Alright, great. Awesome. Anyways. Here's the word. And let's go ahead and answer the first question. So, you were asking if there were any countries that I was interested in moving into. So there are a couple of countries that I would like to live in at some point, but you know, obviously that's a difficult goal. But Canada is probably at least in my top 3. I'm not ready to figure out incognito mode for you, bros. I gotta take care of that. But yeah, Canada is definitely one of the places I would like to not just visit, but actually would consider living one day. Probably Vancouver, specifically, because besides Canada, if we were to stick to the United States, I would actually consider moving into either Portland or Seattle, because I don't know, there's something about these places, these two particulars, or at least the metropolitan areas of Oregon and Washington, because it seems like that's the kind of vibes that both Portland and Seattle give me are like the kind of vibes that I vibe with, if that makes any sense. They seem like that, I don't know, I guess they're kind of been described as millennial wonderlands, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but yeah. Have you ever heard of Spiritfarer? That game was funded in part by a Canadian media... Yes, I actually do know of Spiritfarer. That game looks interesting. By a Canadian media grant. Imagine getting support for your indie game from your own government. That's nice. I like that. That's more bonus points for Canada. But yeah, like this entire like trifecta here, right? Of Portland, Seattle, and Vancouver seems to me like the millennial heaven. I guess, kind of. I know now I do know that there's some shit that went down in Portland, and I think Seattle as well, last year. And in fact, Seattle is where the coronavirus came in from, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a problem. But Portland, Seattle, and Vancouver, and we're talking about Canada specifically, Vancouver, seems like an interesting place for me. But other than Vancouver in Canada, probably also like Toronto, maybe Montreal, Ottawa, Quebec, and what's the part of Canada that speaks French? There's such a thing as French Canada, I think, maybe, or is it Quebec? Is Quebec the French part of Canada? Quebec might be the French part of Canada. Anyways, been to Portland and Seattle. If nothing else, I can say that the climate really agrees with me. Quebec is the French part. Okay, so I could probably learn French. French can't be that different from Spanish. It's different, but it can't be that different. They are both romantic languages. So I guess that works. And they see themselves as extremely independent of Canada. They basically have their own culture. I see. I know this is the state where like French is spoken more widely than whatever the French state is, which is Quebec. It's where French is spoken more widely than English. And I think it's because of Quebec that you'll often see French in products brought to North America. So like if you buy anything with like an instructions booklet or anything like that, they'll probably have French behind it, and that's probably because of Quebec. Maybe Louisiana too, because Louisiana had some French in it as well, but Quebec primarily. Also, Alberta is where you'll find the Canadian equivalent of rednecks, if I recall correctly, and the residents push hard for destructive oil projects. Oh no, where's Alberta? Hold on. Find Alberta, Canada. I mean, I guess I could look for it. Alright, there is a place called London in Canada. Forgot about that. Is that over here? Hey, Nova Scotia. That's where, Nova Scotia is where Nitrorat lives, or at least where he comes from. So I would actually like to visit Nova Scotia. Specifically, I would like to visit Nitrorat in Nova Scotia, but anyways. Okay, kind of center, western-ish. Okay, so there's Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton, Saskatoon. Hold on. Here's central Canada. So west-ish Canada. Let's see. Wow, those are some squares. Alright, well, whatever. Alright, well, let's just look it up. Alberta, Canada. Oh, it's the state! Oh, it's okay, so Calgary and Edmonton. That's basically what we're looking at here. So this area, so it's actually right next to British Columbia. There, this is Columbia. This is Columbia spelled with a U. We were talking about this earlier. This is Columbia spelled like this, and this is Columbia spelled with an O. One is a country, the other one is a state in Canada. It's a district in the United States. I can really see it, but yeah, the District of Columbia in Washington, probably here in the United Kingdom, there's somewhere called Columbia. I would imagine. Maybe. Let's see. I don't see it, but it's possible. Okay. I'm not sure if regions swap very well on this map. Might as well start pronouncing the U version of Columbia. Yeah. Just call it Columbia, and that's how you'll know. Anyways, speaking of places I would like to live, Ireland. I would actually like to definitely would like to visit Ireland, and it seems like a pretty nice place to live as well. It's peaceful. They're fairly progressive, I hear, in Ireland. They I think the technology, as far as like internet technology, is a little bit behind from what I've heard, but I mean, other than that, in fact, my cousin lived in Ireland for a couple of years, and she said it was pretty nice. So hey, there you go, Ireland. By the way, Ireland is an independent country. Northern Ireland is a region in the United Kingdom, which is kind of stupid because Ireland can go further north than Northern Ireland. Like this is the most up north that Northern Ireland goes into, and this is the most up north that regular Ireland goes into. So yeah, that's different. Okay, Northern Ireland in particular is so beautiful it ought to be an actual wonder of the world. Yeah, are you talking about Northern Ireland or Northern Ireland? That's such a stupid distinction that we have to make. But anyways, I have heard difficult things about the England part of the United Kingdom, but I would actually consider maybe the Scotland part of the United Kingdom. I feel like Glasgow and Edinburgh and maybe a couple of other places here in Scotland might be worth visiting. Maybe consider making a living over here. I know it's cold as shit. I know it is freezing up here. But hey, Scotland and Ireland. Maybe even Wales. I don't know. Possibly. Given the nation's history, it's a wonder the border with Northern Ireland didn't catch political fire post-Brexit. Fair enough. Spain... I don't know about Spain. Spain is where a lot of Latinos go to live, because you know it is a country in Europe, and Europe is definitely in general better off than Latin America, and also because you know Spain doesn't give you the language barrier if you come from most countries in Latin America. Not all of them. Not every country in Latin America speaks English. Speaks Spanish, by the way. Remember, Brazil obviously is the main one that they speak Portuguese. But besides them, Guyana speaks English. Suriname speaks Dutch. French Guiana is not a country. French Guiana is a French colony. Like official or like a French outer territory location. Like officially, if you are in French Guiana, you are in France. You are not in a separate country. You are officially in France if you are in French Guiana. It's not going to look like France, but it, like officially speaking, you are in France. Most of these little places do not speak Spanish. Like pretty sure Trinidad and Tobago speaks English. Barbados for sure speaks English. I think a lot of them speak English and French, maybe some Spanish too, but not all of them. Haiti speaks French. Jamaica speaks English. Belize speaks English. Not many people know about little old Belize over here, but yeah, they speak English. We actually know somebody from Belize, and he speaks Spanish, but also English. So there you go. And it was still counted as and I didn't know either until not too long ago. But yeah, officially speaking, French Guiana is not part of it's not its own country. Paraguay, they do speak Spanish, but it's actually the only country in the world where an indigenous language is spoken more widely than Spanish. So they have their own little language that most of the people that live in Paraguay speak, rather than Spanish. So there you go. Also, the majority of Paraguay lives right here. Very few people live over here. Also, there's a brain-shaped location somewhere around here. It's like up here. Oh, let me switch to satellite view. Yeah, there's like a brain-shaped... Yeah, this thing. There's a brain-shaped part in Paraguay. I don't know why this happens. I don't know how this came to be. Let's see if we can look at it. We cannot look at it. But, yeah. There's a fucking brain in Paraguay. The more you know. Okay, let's back to this. Islands. I've been to Bonaire before. I'd love to go back someday. Bonaire. Let's look for Bonaire. Oh, is that a... I actually don't know if that's an island over here. Or if it's, the Bahamas speaks English. Well, I'll find it eventually. Hold on. That's where Cthulhu sleeps. Alright. Anyways, yeah, is that the Galapagos? Is this the Galapagos? This is, yeah, it is the Galapagos. Okay. Anyways, other places that I would like to live in. Maybe Australia. Maybe like especially like this areas over here, like Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne. You know, those are like the nice places in Australia. But before Australia, I would probably go to New Zealand. I think New Zealand seems like a very chill place to live. So I would sooner consider New Zealand over Australia as a potential spot to live. Bonaire is near Aruba and Caracau. They're collectively called the ABC Islands. Aruba and Caracau. Let's see. I don't remember all of my things, but let's see, I guess we can just look it up. Bonaire, Caribbean Netherlands. Right. Oh, here. Okay. Ah, that's actually pretty nice looking. Yeah, let's take a look at it. There's not that many places we can, but trouble over here. I think New Zealand might be one of the nicest places to live on Earth, from what I've heard. Yeah, they got very, very low crime rate. They I don't know about the cost of living, but it's probably not that bad. Yeah, look at this place. It's nice. Yeah, this is very Latin American kind of style of architecture, even though this isn't actually. I mean, yeah, it is Latin America. It's just not. It's probably considered a little bit different from like the not Latin American neighbors. Islander, okay, this is quite nice. Yeah, pretty much all of the little islands in the Caribbean are considered touristic spots. They mostly gain their money from tourism, and yeah, it's quite nice. It's worth mentioning they had a spotless coronavirus record for a really long time. Yeah, yeah, New Zealand is one of the best examples of how to handle the coronavirus in the world. Surprisingly, El Salvador is also one of the best examples of how to handle the coronavirus, because their president, despite this being a very small third world country in Central America, they fucking handle that shit like a boss over here in El Salvador. So, good job to El Salvador's president. He did a fantastic job for them. And the rest of Latin America could serve to learn a little bit from him. Because every other fucking country has a goddamn problem. Again, except for Costa Rica and Panama. These are like... Costa Rica and Panama are like the cool guys of Latin America. They don't really get in that much trouble. The biggest shit that Panama ever had to deal with was the Panama Canal. Which is, Is that Panama Canal? Where is the Panama Canal? Is that Panama Canal? No, I don't think that... No, that's just the border. What is the Panama Canal? Is that it? There's this little thing over here. Yeah, I think that's the... There, maybe, no. No, this stops over here. Never mind, no, that's not the Panama Canal. Staring intensely at Brazil. Yeah, Brazil. Brazil is so fun. I don't want to say it out loud, but Brazil is... They have their problems. They have their problems. Okay, anyways, other places to live. Not Japan or South Korea. I would love to visit Japan and South Korea. But I would not like to live in Japan or South Korea. The work culture, we were just talking about that. The work culture and like standard of living on these places is not particularly great. They are not happy countries. Neither Japan nor South Korea. They are very technologically advanced. They have some great tourism. Again, so for visiting, I would love to go there. But actually living in Japan and in either Japan or South Korea is not ideal, from what I heard. What about that yellow line cutting Panama in half? Let me see. Oh, yeah, we were supposed to be looking for the Panama Canal. Is that the Panama Canal? Or is that just a road? Oh, wait. There it is. Okay. So, you come in probably from here. And then you go into the... Oh, there's a very narrow spot where you actually have to go in from. But there it is. You go into this lake. I mean, it is a canal, but God, there's a lot of little islands over here. But anyway, you go over here and there. And then you go into, like, there's more narrow spaces. But you keep going and you keep going and boom, there you are. You are now in the other side of the ocean. So that's how people from the Atlantic can get to basically that's how people coming from over here can get over here. Because having to like port over here in like the eastern part of the United States to deliver stuff to California is probably a pain in the ass. Probably. Okay. Heavy traffic, but that's the price you pay for not having to sail around an entire continent. Yep, that's it's a lot easier to do that than to do if you're going from the United Kingdom to California and you don't take the Panama Canal, you would have to do that. That's all. That's gonna cost some money. You don't want to do that. So yeah, Panama Canal, very important. Way back in the day, used to belong to Colombia. Anymore. The Colombia did not do a very good job at keeping the Panama Canal. We could have been fucking rich, but we were like, nah, it's not that important. You guys in the United States can have it. And that's some history. That is some history right there. Okay, you have to sail into a whirlpool and hope it warps you into the right place. Right, okay. Anyways, other countries that I like to live in, potentially Germany. Germany is like, you know, the entirety of Europe is seen like a much nicer place to live than most other places in the world, but Germany in particular is like pretty safe. They're doing, after World War II, and after the fall of the Berlin Wall, Germany has been very, very hard at work at getting their country back together, getting it and making sure that it's a world power true and true, and making sure that it's one of the best places to live. And yeah, I actually have my high school guitar teacher currently lives in Germany, and she's doing just fine over there. So German is a difficult language to learn, but that's, I mean, if the only challenge was to learn a language, that's fine. Oh, can't be that difficult. Hey, same here. I've had a gradually improving opinion of Germany over the years. Growing from a neutral opinion, that is. I have a hard time finding negative things to say about it. Yeah, it's, there's not really... Look, the only reason you would have something negative to say about Germany is if you think there's still like a bunch of Nazis over there, which, no, they're not. There's not. Germany has done a fantastic job at not erasing their Nazi history, at recognizing it, being ashamed of it, and doing efforts to fix it. Unlike the Southeast. Okay, let's not get into that right now. My only issue with Germany is that they are very strict with car modifications. Well, fair enough. They do have some very big car manufacturers over there in Germany. However, besides Germany, the other German-speaking nations in Europe are pretty nice too. Switzerland and Austria seem like a pretty nice place to live. And the Liechtenstein over here, little guys. Not really. It seems like getting into Liechtenstein is a bit of a problem. Difficult. But Switzerland and Austria, not too bad. Obviously, the Scandinavian and Nordic. Okay, Finland does not consider itself Scandinavian, I believe, but Sweden and Norway and Denmark do, maybe Iceland too. But yeah, the northern part of Europe seems pretty nice. Sweden in particular is like one of the nicest places to live from what I've heard. Maybe Denmark as well. These days you can probably get away with just owning an electric bike and taking public transit and you could go anywhere in Germany. Yeah, they have a pretty good transportation system. Well, maybe they do have some pretty big mountains. I've been exploring the map. I've been exploring the map for about... At the end of every stream, we usually like to go into our Google Maps for like about half an hour. So probably close to being done here. But yeah, we're just exploring random countries that I would personally like to, that I would maybe sort of kind of consider moving into at some point in the future. So we've gone through Canada, Ireland, some parts of the United Kingdom, not all of them, the German-speaking nations in Europe, Sweden, New Zealand, maybe Australia. As far as Southeast Asia is concerned, I don't know. To be perfectly honest, Southeast Asia does kind of deal with their own set of problems. They're not technically ideal places to go live, but I mean, hey, I would definitely like to visit. I'd like to visit Indonesia. Jakarta seems like a nice place. I mean, there's probably gonna be an earthquake every couple of minutes because it's just like the Ring of Fire. Or Ring of Fire. Look at that. That's the Ring of Fire. Boom! All of the east coast of America, and pretty much all of the west coast of Asia, and a little bit. Actually, I think New Zealand is safe. I don't think it touches Australia or New Zealand quite as much, but like these islands over here in the Southeast Asia, oh yeah, they get earthquakes up the wazoo. Also volcanoes, a lot of volcanoes. Freaking Krakatoa, where is it? Krakatoa, there it is. This is one of the biggest volcanic eruptions ever recorded. Not the biggest one, but one of the biggest ones. The biggest one was also here in Indonesia. What was it? Okay, no, I can't remember where it was, but it was somewhere around here. But anyways, if you see these things being buried in shit, that's probably from volcanic activity. Switzerland has a high quality of life. Yes. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why their flag is a red cross. No, a white cross against a red background because it's safe. Probably not actually, but hey, I'd like to think that's how it is. Georgia, the country of Georgia. Maybe not to live there, but I do. They have a pizza thing. Hold on, let's see. What's it called? Is this gonna give me? Yeah, this thing, the Georgian cheese egg, but the adjaruli. It's like an egg pizza, but look at it. It looks delicious. I wanna try that so bad. Look at that thing. Oh, I'm a pizza lover. I would love to try this thing. I mean, I'm not even the biggest fan of egg, but goddamn, look at that. It looks tasty. Yeah, so that's a Georgian thing from the country Georgia, not the state Georgia. But yeah, it looks like a potato. No, I think it's like a pizza. I think it's like actually like I don't think there's potatoes involved in it, but we can look up a recipe. Let's see. There are many different styles of kakapuri, the signature stuffed cheese spread into Georgia, but most are made by wrapping a pile of cheese in a round of dough, then baking until the cheese is molten. The most famous kakapuri is from Ajara, the region of Georgia, or the Black Sea. It's an open-faced, boat-shaped loaf that's often served with an egg yolk and slices of butter to stir in the stir at the table. Traditionally, tangy, miruli, and slukni cheese are used, but they are difficult to find in the U.S. This recipe, which is adapted from Georgian kakapuri and filled breads by Carla Cavalbo, it is a blend of mozzarella, feta, and goat cheese. It's pizza. It's basically a pizza. It's delicious. Liquid gold on pizza. Might have to take a crack at that. If you have to slap some pepperonis on that thing, yeah, it looks chef's kiss. So I would like to visit the country of Georgia just to try that freaking thing. The capital over here. By the way, it's pronounced Tbilisi, not Tbilisi. It's T. There's supposed to be. There technically is supposed to be an I here, but no, that's just how you pronounce it. Tbilisi. Mix in some bacon. Oof, man. Oh man, sounds so good. Anyways, other place I'd like to visit is Hong Kong. I would like to visit Hong Kong. I wouldn't mind visiting the rest of China, but primarily Hong Kong. I would like to visit Hong Kong and Taiwan. I would like to visit Taiwan. But yeah, I think that's more or less the list of countries that I'd like to live in. So to recap: Canada, the German-speaking nations in Europe, Ireland, Sweden, Australia, New Zealand, and maybe... I think that's really pretty much it, really. France. I wouldn't mind France, but... I don't know. Move to North... No, I don't... No! No! I don't think I would like to move to North Korea. Thank you. Hey! Maybe if they ever unify, and North Korea becomes more like South Korea, but without this extreme stress of the South Korean culture, I would consider it. Otherwise, no! I probably wouldn't make it out of there. Okay. I briefly fantasized about living in Australia once. I mean, it's I don't know how difficult it is to actually move into one such country, but I mean, something that I would probably have to look into at some point in my life. Specifically, living in one of their abandoned mini mine caves, which some people have turned into homes, and they get to do whatever with the gems they find if they feel like expanding. Yeah, that's nice. Anyways, I actually have heard a lot of stories about about North Korean defectors that escaped into South Korea. It's honestly pretty horrifying, but it's also worthwhile if you really wanna know what it's like in North Korea. If you don't want to just like the news, like the American news version of it, but you want to actually know what it's like in North Korea, look up the YouTube channel Asian Boss and some North Korean defector stories that they have, and it's pretty horrifying stuff. Like, it is not for the faint of heart. But if you want to really learn what it's like in North Korea from a North Korean, look that up. It's a doozy. It's an absolute doozy. I'm not going to lie that. But okay. Anyways, I think that's about it for us tonight. Yeah, we did a lot of stuff in today's stream. On the scale of you'll get shot if you catch COVID or worse. I mean, let me put it this way: if you get shot by catching COVID, that's probably a nice way of going out. That's probably one of the nicest ways to go out in North Korea. It's bad. It's real bad. Oh Lord. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I think that's about it for tonight's stream. So we talked about capitalism. We always talk about capitalism. We talk about countries that I'd like to move into. We added some games to our backloggery. And Yeah, there's also a video where a reporter managed to sneak into North Korea by the people on YouTube. I haven't heard of that one, but I'll have to look into it. Anyways, I also want to apologize for not having any gaming streams lately. I hope you guys don't mind it too much. They have democracy voting, but Kim is the only one in the... yeah, the thing is that I believe the official name of North Korea is the People's or the Popular Democratic Republic of Korea, something like that. Okay. Let me look it up real quick. Country code names, is that what? Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. So, Democratic People's Republic of Korea. That is the official name of North Korea. Democratic People's Republic of Korea. So, some countries use the word democracy very liberally. Don't believe everything you see on the news. Okay. As we reflect on the past, we think about the future. Very much so. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So gaming streams, I will or Kim Jong-lan. Yeah. Anyways, gaming streams. I'll see what I can do. Honestly, since I'm currently playing to Crystals and Tales of Celia on I'm playing to Crystals on my own. I'm playing to Tales of Celia on the art streams. So I don't really have any specific games that I really want to stream right now. But we'll see what we can do about that. Alright, and if not, then you guys know exactly what we're gonna do next week again. We'll just do this shit again. We keep doing this every single week. We'll see how the Activision Blizzard and all of that shit devolves. I don't think evolving is the right word to describe it. See how it devolves into next week. And yeah, otherwise, I'll catch you guys then. Have a good rest of your night. Have a good rest of your weekend. If you're working, have a good day at work. I really gotta go to the bathroom. I've actually been having to go to the bathroom for like an hour. So I will see you guys then. I'm gonna keep it for a while. Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.